ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। Hari Om, salutations to all. Yesterday we saw 555. Jivan, that is the understanding of Jivan Mukti. This person has realized the truth while living here and now. Kritartho Brahmavittamaha. That person is fulfilled and is the best amongst the knowers of Brahman. Upadhinashat Brahmaiva. Now, Upadhinashat does not mean the Upadhi is destroyed, meaning the body, mind, intellect is destroyed. The identification with the body, mind, intellect is destroyed. Upadhinashat Brahmaiva, San, Brahma Piyati Nirdvayam. When the identification with the body is destroyed, one attains that Brahman, which is non-dual, which one was throughout. Just that one did not know because of ignorance. Now moving ahead, the example of the actor that we generally use, 556 speaks about that. Shailusho Vesha Sadbhava Bhavayoscha Yatha Puman Tathaiva Brahma Vichreshtaha Sada Brahmaiva Na Paraha. Shailusho Vesha Sadbhava. Shailusha is the actor, Vesha is the role. So Shailusho Vesha Sadbhava Abhavayoho. Now whether that person wears the costume of the actor or does not wear, Bhavayoscha Yatha Puman. What does that mean? Whether he wears the costume or he doesn't wear the costume, he knows that he is the actor, he is not the role. Tathaiva Brahmavit Shreshtaha. In that way, the knower of Brahman also is the supreme, who knows at all times, whether Upadhi remains or does not remain, that I am Brahman. Our situation today is, we have forgotten we are the actor. The role has become our identity, and we are not ready to leave that role. And without that costume, we don't know who we are. Dependency, like the actor will depend on the costume. If the actor feels I am that and has forgotten that one's nature is different, that I am an actor, this is only a role and this is only a costume of that role. The identity of the actor does not depend on the costume or the role actually. In our case, if you take that example, actor is this role, not role. Actor is Brahman. The role is what roles we are playing. Mother, father, son, friend, employer, all those. Costume is the BMI. Now the BMI and the roles that we are playing, we have got identified with this so much that we have forgotten that we are actually Brahman, the actor. So what has to be done? The actor has to become aware that I am actually the actor, I am not this. So that's why the negation, neti, neti, 2 times the Upanishad says negate, meaning negate the gross, negate the subtle. That is the Upanishad implication. Gross body and the subtle, meaning mind, intellect, and ego, or causal body. Subtle body and causal body is the unmanifest. So that is not unmanifest. They are subtle. They are not gross, tangible. So one neti is to reject the body identification. Second is to reject I am this jiva with the BMI. That has to be negated. In this actor example, negate the identification with the roles, negate the identification with the BMI. Then what remains? Actor remains, not a blank. That actor is my true self. That's what he says here. Shailesho Vesha Sadbhava Abhavayoscha Yatha Puman. So to know who am I, independent of my roles, independent of the attachment to the BMI, that is to know the self. We are very scared to leave. Just imagine an actor, Amrish Puri, let us say. When we were children, that Mr. India, some movie had come. And you know that dialogue, Amrish Puri, Mogambo Khush Hua. That whole, and this hero has some bracelet or something that he wears, he becomes invisible. So we used to enact it. Now imagine if Amrish Puri forgets that he is Amrish Puri and he thinks he is Mogambo. He will not be ready to leave the clothes, the costume of Mogambo, he won't leave. What happens if he can't leave the costume of Mogambo and he can't leave the role of Mogambo? He can't go into another shoot. People will call him mad. That is what has happened to us. We are not wanting to drop the role or the identification with the BMI. So now, if Vedant says detach, oh, I'm very scared. Detachment, I don't know what will happen. Are if you don't do detach, then you can't do other roles properly. No. Detachment is not for us. Detachment is people who have renounced life. They have no interest in life. I want to enjoy my life. Why should I be detached? It is like Amrish Puri crying, I have Mogambo. I can't leave Mogambo's role. Arey, leave it. You are an actor. You can do so much more only when you leave that. We can do so many things when we are detached from the BMI. Our nature is infinite bliss. But we are identifying with the costume and with the role. And now to detach from that, very difficult. This person has detached. Tathaiva Brahmavit. So whether BMI exists, does not exist, in what condition it exists, it makes no difference. That person may take care of the BMI. You see some Mahatmas, they take care. Some Mahatmas, they don't bother. Their vision has shifted to something so high. How does it matter to Amrish Puri whether that costume remains or does not remain when he has known that I am Amrish Puri? If something happens to the costume, okay, change it. Because one knows I am not that. That is this. Tathaiva Brahmavit Shreshtaha Sada Brahmaiva Na Paraha. knows that I am always Brahman and nothing else. No, nothing other than Brahman. So whenever we see a movie or whenever you see any play or any such thing, this should come to mind that just like those actors, they know who they are. I am playing a role. This is a costume that I have, but who am I? I should find out that. Now come a series of verses. So when it is said here that Tathaiva Brahmavit Shresthaha, Brahmavit is the supreme because the example given of us of the costume, whether one wears the costume or doesn't wear, it doesn't matter. So now comes the series of verses that what happens even if the person's body drops, there is no fear of death, there is no specific time, place, condition in which the body should drop. This point had come earlier also about the casting away of the body. In Vivek Chudamani, it had come a few verses earlier. I think it has come. I don't remember the verse number, but this whole concept has come earlier. That we have to drop the body at a certain time, in a certain place, in a certain way. For the Jivan Mukta, it doesn't matter. So that from 557, a series of verses speak about that. Yatra kvapi vishirnam sat purnamiva taror vapuhu. Meter only. Yatra kvapi vishirnam sat parnam iva taror vapuhu patanat brahmi bhutasya yatehe prageva tachidagnina dagdham. Yatra kvapi vishirnam, wherever it is dropped, vishirnam sat parnamiva taror vapuhu patanat. The example given here is the parnamiva, like the leaves when they wither away from the tree. Parnamiva taroho. In that same way, just like the leaf withers away from the tree, makes no difference to the tree. In the same way, to the realized person, the body is like a leaf. Brahmi bhutasya yatehe, one who has realized that Supreme Brahman, prageva tat chidagnina dagdham. It has already been destroyed in the fire of knowledge, meaning the body identification has been destroyed by the knowledge that I am indestructible Brahman. Now, if the body dies, it makes no difference to the Jivan Mukta. Why? The example is the tree. That for the tree, there are countless number of leaves on that tree. One leaf falls, makes no difference. The tree doesn't think that I am that leaf only. And it's a process. The tree knows that. Some leaves are born new, some are there right now, some are withering away right now. That continuous process is going on. It is happening with us also or not. Right now, so many cells are being born, they are growing and they are dying right now inside us. We are not aware of that. But if we actually become aware of that, then we will see that it makes no difference to us. No, Swamiji, it makes difference. Over a period of time, we become old and we die. At that limitation of example. I'm talking about individual identification with the cell. One cell is born and it dies. We don't have a problem with that. Why? Because I know I am this whole body. Same way, the tree example. The leaf grows and slowly it withers away. Autumn season, or they call it the fall. Abroad, the fall. It falls. All the leaves fall. No difference it makes to the tree. In the same way here, the person who has realized Brahman, anywhere the body may fall. Now the leaf may fall somewhere. First of all, leaf falling makes no difference to the tree. Second, if that leaf falls, then what is the, where it falls, how does it make a difference to the tree? It may fall on the ground. It may be taken away by wind somewhere. It may fall in some water body. Where it falls makes no difference to the tree. Falling makes no difference. Where it falls makes no difference. What happens to that leaf after that makes no difference. But is it not ungrateful of the tree? It was a part, that leaf was a part of that tree, and now the tree is not even bothered about it. Our mind thinks in that way. The difference there is that that tree and that leaf both are finite. In this example, it is not like that. In this example, the person who has realized Brahman realizes I am everything. Just like the body example. If I am the whole body, one cell dying in the body makes no difference to me. Because all cells are me. Even body example limitation is there because it is finite only. That way no example can be given. But from the infinite standpoint, everything is appearance of the infinite alone. So that relationship is not like that tree and the leaf, where the tree doesn't get affected by the dropping of a leaf. So as though there is no sense of feeling or emotion or any such thing. No. Brahmavid knows that everything is Brahman. So towards one's own body, the Brahmavid has no attachment. Because that attachment towards the body has already been destroyed through fire of knowledge. Prageva tat chidagnina dagdham. The Brahmavid through the fire of knowledge has come to awaken that my nature is Brahman. I am not this body at all. Then why should I even worry about that body staying, not staying, falling? What is the condition? Doesn't make a difference. What happens to the cloth? How does it matter? When we know we are not the cloth, we may take care of the cloth, wash it properly, iron it properly, hang it well, use it properly. That we may do all those things. But we know we are not the cloth at all. But if we get attached to that cloth, then all sorrows start. No, this is such an important whatever, suit or salwar or whatever that is. Such and such person gave it to me and is very dear to me, and I wear it only once in a year, and whatever, some attachment is there to that. Now, if some stain has come on it for some reason, then one feels very upset. But actually, it is only on the dress, it's not on me. To the extent I am attached to that dress, to that extent will be sorrow. If I have no attachment, no sorrow. In that fire of knowledge, it's already burnt. Limited example, but same way. The body is like a cloth. The Gita says that when the body is dropped, it is like changing old clothes and taking the new clothes. So if body is like a cloth, no attachment to it. Why? Because fire of knowledge already burnt that wrong notion. I am not this body. So now whatever happens, doesn't matter. For a Jivan Mukta, it makes no difference. For an ordinary Jiva, it makes all the difference. Why? Because the place where the body is dropped, if that place is a sacred place, then the possibility of the mind remembering the Lord is much more. One. Two, there are some sacred places where the Lord himself grants mukti to the jiva, like they say Kashi. Shivji himself initiates the jiva into the Tarak mantra Ram, and the jiva gets mukti. So they say go to Kashi and you should drop the body at Kashi. Actually, it means drop the body after knowing who you are. Don't drop the body before that. Try continuously, keep striving to realize that. Kashate means to shine. Kashi means where one shines in one's true glory. That is called Kashi. So, what is my true glory as the self? That I should realize. And die in Kashi means let the body identification die in the Chidagni. That is the meaning actually, dying in Kashi. That do the sadhana, and Kashi is an environment. Earlier days, there were lots of, very, very knowledgeable people and Shastrartha going on and sadhanas and seva and Vishwanath Bhagwan's Mandir. Many things are there in Kashi. It's a seat of learning and knowledge. So one used to go there, do, satsang, manan, chintan, spend the time in solitude, do dhyan. Gangaji is there, take a dip in that. Or, many sadhanas one can do. Through that, destroy the body identification before this body is burnt. In that process, if one has not yet realized and the body drops, then the Lord helps the jiva to continue the sadhana and grants mukti to the jiva. But people don't understand many of that. Some of them, they feel that literally if I go there, I may have lived any type of life here, but I will go and stay in Kashi. And when I die, Bhagwan will give me mukti. Wonderful. Maha delusion. Whatever way one has lived, and suddenly everything will be wiped clean. How foolish is that? We ourselves, we as human beings don't do that. Somebody has taken a lot of credit. We have given a lot of money to them. Now, will we wipe off everything? When that person dies, will we wipe it off? We'll say, no, the son has to pay or the family has to pay. Or suppose the death has not happened, but that person has become completely poor. Will we write off everything? No. We ourselves don't write off what is due. How will Bhagwan write off? No, but he's Bhagwan, he's all compassionate. Wonderful. So do anything anyhow, and then expect that Bhagwan will write off everything and give you mukti. Wow. Then there's no need to do any study. No problem. What to do? Book your kutia in Kashi and go there and live there. That also assuming that I'm going to be old and then die. When death comes, that next minute, we don't know. Anybody falls anywhere. So for a jiva, it makes a difference to drop the body in Kashi, to drop the body while remembering the Lord. Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. Even at the time of death, if one remembers the Lord, then the prayati samadbhavam, that person becomes one with the Lord. Now, how will I remember the Lord at the end of, at the time when I'm going to die? Through the life, I should have remembered him. So, where we drop the body makes a difference. What are we doing while we drop the body? That determines predominantly the direction in which the jiva will take the next birth. So where we drop the body, what do we do when we drop the body? How we drop the body? Most of the time we die unconsciously. Meaning we have no control how we die. Is that possible? Of course it is possible. If we have lived in control properly, we can die in control. consciously also. We live only unconsciously, then die also unconsciously. Through any of the holes in the body, the prana ejects out. We don't know from where it will eject. For somebody, it will eject from the eyes, for somebody from the nose, for somebody from the mouth, somebody from the ears. Ejects. These are 7 which are above. The 7 holes above in the head. The evacuating organ, reproductive organ, they too are below. So a complete bhogi will go out through that. A sadhak may go out through any of these, or a sattvic type of person, or a jiva who has lived a moderate life. And the yogi goes out from here, Sahasrara, this Kapal. From here, the yogi will go out. The yogi ejects consciously. 8th chapter of the Gita gives that. How to eject out of the body consciously. So for us, these things are important. But for the Jivan Mukta, no difference. What time we drop the body, that also will be important to determine which gati one takes, Surya Gati, Chandra Gati. 8th chapter gives more details, so you can read that if you want. End of the 8th chapter comes this. Dakshinayan time, dark, night time, when there is darkness, when there is smoke, in the Krishna Paksha, in the Dakshinayan time. If one drops the body at such times, then one goes through the path of the moon. And if one drops the body in Uttarayan in the daytime when there is light, in the Shukla Paksha, then one goes through the path of the sun, goes to Brahma Loka, attains mukti from there, Krama Mukti that is called. That person doesn't come back to earth. Now, what if some bhogi dies in the Uttarayan? Will that person get mukti? No, that person will wait. The jiva will wait. The devatas of Uttarayan will hand over the jiva to Dakshinayan devatas, and that jiva will go to the Chandraloka only. Oh, but then what is the point? He died in Uttarayan. The point is that if that jiva consciously has been able to do some sadhana, the mind becomes more and more purified. All those are symbolic. They are not just time period outside. So brightness, Shukla Paksha, Uttarayan time, daytime, these are all symbols of knowledge. Seeker of knowledge. If that person has become a seeker of knowledge, then Bhoga Vritti to that extent is gone. The chances of coming back on this earth are reduced. Now that cannot happen suddenly at last minute, obviously. One should have lived like that for some time. But at least that initiation has happened. That person comes to understand, oh, there is a path called Uttarayan also. I died in Uttarayan, so now Uttarayan Devtas are here. And that path is a bright path. This Chandramarga is a path of sense enjoyment. And again, I have to come back into the womb of the mother, hang there for 9 months upside down, and go through all pain, and then come into this world. What a world it is. You just look at it right now. Horrible. What all going on in the world? Complete madness. Why should I come back again here? But Jiva doesn't realize many of these things. So when we come to satsang, we understand all this. So when to drop the body, what condition to drop. Now imagine a person like Bhishma Pitama. He has lived his whole life brahmacharya and doing the seva, He's a devotee of the Lord. And what excruciating pain he must be having, lying on the bed of arrows. But he's patiently waiting for Uttarayan time, because that is the appropriate time to drop the body. And he has Ichha Mrityu Vardhan. So he set an example for everybody, saying if you can, you should drop the body at will during that Uttarayan time. So for a Jiva, it makes all the difference. For this Brahmavit, no difference. Why? Body identification is finished. It is already burnt. Chidagnina, Dagdham. So now this chain of thought moves forward. Sadatmani Brahmani Tishthato Munehe Purna Purna Dvayanandamayatmana Sada Na Deshakala Dyuchita Pratiksha Tvangmam Savit Pinda Visarjanaya Sada Atmani Brahmani Tishthato Munehe. That Muni who is ever abiding in Supreme Brahman. What is that Brahman? Purna, complete. Advaya, non-dual. Ananda, of the nature of bliss. Maya, Maya means full of all these. Atmana Sada. This Jivan Mukta knows that as one's own self, not as some Brahman out there. Atmana knows it as one's own self who is abiding in that Brahman. Na desha kala adi uchita pratiksha. So what we just said, desha, that place where it is dropped, the time when it is dropped, the mode in which it is dropped. There is nothing prescribed for that person who is realized. That person is not bound by any of these. Why? We saw earlier, Jiva Neva Mukta, already finished. Realization is done here and now, nothing more to attain. Na desha kaladi uchita pratiksha. Tvang mamsa vit pinda visarjanaya. This pinda, this body, is made up of what? Tvak, skin, mamsa, flesh, and filth, pinda, vit actually, vit pindam visarjanaya, vit is filth. So what is the use? Will one, suppose there is a, let us say, food item. Suppose that idli sambar, let us say, one forgot to keep in the fridge. Now that sambar will start stinking. Horrible stink will come from that. Now when one takes that sambar, one has to discard it. Will one find an appropriate place? Where should I discard? One will put it in dustbin, so it becomes filth, finished. Which dustbin is a better dustbin? Where should I put this? Nothing. It is already rotten, finished. Where is one going to prefer how to drop it? When to drop it? Is there a right time when I can discard this sambar? Nothing. You just drop it. Gurudev has written that. In the commentary, he said, he does not depend upon the time, place, and circumstances, etc. He has no problem like this bundle of flesh and fecal matter packed in a sack of skin. Where should I throw? At what time should I throw it? Who should be the witnesses when I throw it, etc. Really speaking, the decent thing to do is to throw away the filthy thing when nobody is looking your way. Meaning, quietly drop the body, the bundle of filth. What are we making a big issue of this body dying? And the jiva who has not realized will feel all this. I am going to die. What will people do after me? Will they remember me after I die? I have did so many things for them. Are they even grateful? Will they do any kriya after me? And while they are living also, they ask some people, will you remember me after I die? What Gurudev is saying, best is to drop it when nobody is even looking. Just drop the body, ho gaya. Bundle of dirt and filth. Now for Jivan Mukta, the objective of this body also is finished. The purpose of the body is realized. I am Brahman. Over. Now, what more? Nothing more. No attachment. Now, Shankaracharya ji, what a great Mahatma, how he lived his whole life. Quietly, he just disappeared behind Kedarnath. Did not allow anybody to come with him. How he dropped the body, nobody knows. Where he dropped, nobody knows. Quietly just went. No farewell. No telling everybody bye-bye. Don't miss me. And then come back to check. Are you missing me? Nothing. Just drop. Finished. Just like that food. Body is product of food or not. It's just that covered nicely. That's all. As I is thinking. Dehasya moksho na moksho na dandasya na kamandaloho avidya hridaya granthi moksho moksho yatastataha. Dehasya moksho na mokshaha. If somebody gives up the body without realizing the self, thinking I will get mukti if I destroy the body. This body is a bundle of mass, of flesh and skin and blood and all that. So why should I keep this body? Destroy it. And destruction of the body will not lead to mukti. Why? Because we saw earlier, the causal body is the seed. The ignorance is the cause. Till that cause is not removed, the effect will remain. Subtle body remains. And the effect of that subtle body is the gross body. So cause is ignorance. Effect of that is subtle body. Effect of that is gross body. Now, if I drop the gross body, subtle body is there, which will take another gross body. So death of this body is not any solution. That is not called mukti at all. Dehasya moksho na mokshaha. So one should not say, yes, this body is only the cause of all problem. This body is the cause of problem in what sense? When we are attached to this body and we want sense enjoyment through the body. Jivan Mukta sthiti can be attained also through this body only. So depends on me how I use. Either use it for bhoga vastu completely or use it for sadhana. And some people, of course, mix it, but finally come to sadhana and realize the self. So that is the beauty of human body. The Vivek Chudamani started also with that. Jantunam nara janma durlavamata pumsvam tato viprata. So one should not have false notion that by destroying the body, I will get mukti. Some people think like that. Many people destroy their body because they want to escape from problems also. Why people are doing suicides? Because no strength to face problems. And one thinks by dying, I will escape. Nothing will happen. Again, one will be born in the same thing. In fact, before one gets the next birth, in between, there is terrible suffering. Because one squandered an opportunity. So, na dehasya moksho na mokshaha. Then he says, na dandasya na kamandaloho. Danda and kamandalu are signs of a sannyasi. So if somebody says that also I will renounce, I've renounced everything else, danda and kamandalu are there for, sadhana. So danda one uses and puts the hand and does some japa. Kamandalu one has for water and bhiksha and all that. Now if somebody says, even that I don't want, I just become a wandering monk. I will leave karatala bhiksha starutala vasa. I don't need a kamandalu. Whatever it fits in my hand, that much I will eat. I don't have any possessions, nothing. While aparigraha is a very good quality, but just by giving up that doesn't mean mukti happens. That is a means to purify the mind, that's all. Raja Janak was living in a huge palace, but nothing, no attachment to that. So issue is not about having things or not having things. Issue is about being identified with them, being possessive about them. So just by renouncing danda and kamandalu, one will not, that is not mukti. Avidya granthi Avidya hridaya granthi moksho. Moksho yatastataha. That is real moksha when one has destroyed the knot of the heart, which is ignorance, the root cause. So just by dropping the body or dropping the external signs, there is no mukti. So clear. Our Shastra is very, very clear. Avidya Granthi, Hridaya Granthi. What is Hridaya Granthi? Avidya Kama Karma. Ignorance, selfish desires, selfish action. That is called knots of the heart. That knot of the heart, of the three knots, the main knot is ignorance. That has to be finished. If that is removed by knowledge that I am Brahman, other two knots will get destroyed. That is called mukti. And human body has that capability to realize that. That alone is the worthy use of human body in that sense that no more one will be born again. Otherwise, this cycle goes on. Now, that's why this one should not have a false notion, because earlier when it was said it's only a bundle of dirt and filth and drops it anywhere. Before we realize the self, we should take care of the body as an instrument of sadhana. We cannot just drop it, because next human body is not easy to get. What does the Shastra say? Till last minute also one should not give up. Antakalepi mameva smaran antakalepi stitvasyam antakalepi. If one is established in the truth, even at the last minute, Brahma Nirvanam Richati, that person has realized no more cycle of birth and death. So one can never give up sadhana till one realizes that self. And human body is the best means to realize the self. Other bodies have a lot of limitations. The human body can do that vivek very clearly. So that is called mukti. Moksho moksho yatas tataha. Kulyayam atha nadyam va shivakshetrepi chatvare parnam patati chetena taro kimnu shubha shubham. Another leaf example extended here now. Kulyayam atha nadyam va. The leaf may fall in a stream or in a flowing river, proper river, or Shiva Kshetrepi Chatvare, or in a place where Lord Shiva is being worshipped, or on in crossroads, Chatvare. Parnam Patati Chet, the leaf may fall any of these places. Tena Taro Kim, how does it bother the tree? Kimnu Shubha Shubham, will it give anything good to the tree, or will it create any loss for the tree? Nothing. The leaf has just fallen. In the same way, where the body drops for the Jivan Mukta makes no difference. There is nothing to gain anymore. There is nothing to lose anymore. For a Jiva, it may be applicable. For a Jivan Mukta, that is not applicable. So the attitude of the Jivan Mukta towards the body is like that tree. Leaves keep falling. Makes no difference where the leaf falls, how it falls, what happens to the leaf after that. Nothing. For a Jiva, it makes all the difference, including whether it is buried or burnt. Burning is the fastest way to destroy the body so that the Jiva can move ahead. Otherwise, the Jiva is stuck. Imagine we are identified with the body for whatever years we live, 70, 80, whatever time we live. Attachment of 80 years, will it go suddenly when body drops? It doesn't go. So if that body is destroyed fast, that Jiva can realize that body is gone, but I am still there. That means I am different. So faster, that movement of the jiva happens faster. So what happens to the body after the body drops makes a big difference to the jiva. Body has been destroyed, cremated, ashes have been poured into the water. Now somebody says, why it is put in water? There's a very beautiful reason for it. See, we don't know many of these things. So we think it is all superstition. We don't understand the vision of the rishis. Why is a Asti Visarjan done in the water? So Aitareya Upanishad says, how does the jiva come into the world? The jiva comes into the world through the rain. When it rains, the jiva comes into the world through the water, gets into the soil, gets into a plant. That plant is eaten by either mother or the father. Then the conception happens. That is how the jiva enters into the world. Typically, when Asti Visarjan is done, it should be done in Samudra or in a sacred place where one can remember the Lord and do the Shraddha, Tarpan, Pindadan, all that. But the reason why it is put in water is that through that water it evaporates, goes up, becomes a cloud, and then comes. It's a cycle. And do you know this whole cycle, in this creation, the water which is there is the same water. It just keeps getting recycled. There's no extra water coming from anywhere else separately. Because all of us know that there is oxygen up to a certain level only. It is not infinitely available. Around the earth, up to a certain level, there is oxygen. So this hydrogen, oxygen, they mix, then water is made. So it is a closed loop. Whatever water is there, that water only is there even today. Ancient times onwards till today, that same water is there. So it goes, it is a closed loop of cycle. So now that Asti Visarjan is done, so the jiva who is aware of this and who has attachment sees all this also. Understands that this Asti also, the body has been burnt. Those pieces which are not burnt, there are some bones. Those are taken, some ash is taken. Now it is put in the water. Gone, everything gone. Who am I now? I have to move ahead in my life. That was one equipment I had, one cloth I had. It is over. Move ahead. For the jiva, that is an important aspect. For a jivan mukta, it makes no difference because there's nothing to go ahead. Fulfilled. No fear of the death while living. No regret at the time of death. And no anxiety. What will happen to me now that body is dead? What do I have to achieve now? What will be my gati? Nothing. Jivan neva sada mukta. Finished. So that tree example, that's why it is important there. That it makes no difference to the tree where the leaf falls, where it goes after it has fallen. Nothing. Same way for the Jivan Mukta. Whenever the prarabdha of this body ends, it will drop. The Jivan Mukta has already dropped it much before. The identification is finished. Wrong back. Patrasya pushpasya phalasya nashavat dehendriya pranadhiyam vinashaha naivatmanasvasya sadatmakasyat. Sorry, naivatmanasvasya sadatmakasya आनंदाकृते वृक्षवदस्ति चैषः. Patrasya, one leaf, pushpasya, flower, phalasya, fruit. Nashavat. Just like any of these are destroyed, what difference it makes to the tree? No difference. In the same way, Deha, Indriya, Prana, Dhi, body, mind, intellect, pranas, all these, their destruction, Vinashaha, Naiva Atmanaha. It is their destruction. It is not the destruction of the self. The self is a witness, unborn, unchanging, undying. Naivatmana Swasya. Why? Sada Atmakasya Ananda Akritehe. Because the nature of the self is ever to be in bliss. Vrikshavad Asti Chaishaha. And it exists like the tree. Meaning, one leaf, one fruit, one flower may wither and fall away, but the tree remains unaffected. Same way, one body may fall away, Atma is all pervasive. No, but what happens if all bodies fall away? Then will not Atma get affected? It will still not get affected. Why? Because they were not real. They were only projections. It makes no difference to the self because the self never became any of these. That is the deeper point. We think these are real, so their birth makes us, come into joy, and their death makes us feel sad because we have associated reality with this. Like for the actor, it makes no difference now. One was playing the role. That time also one knew I am the actor, I am not Mogambo. When the roles are completed, movie is finished, shooting is wrapped up, costumes and all are given away, it makes no difference because I am never the Mogambo. So how does it matter? In that same way, one body drops, no difference. Even if Srishti Pralay happens, no difference. Why? Because Atma is of the nature of changeless awareness, bliss. So then, where is the need for any sense of despair? There is no despair at all. From highest standpoint, there is nothing to despair. That's what the Jivan Mukta is abiding in. Even if you say from Jiva standpoint, there is nothing to despair for the bodies, because the body is dropped and another body will come till the realization doesn't happen. The leaves fall away and the new leaves again rise or not. So how it doesn't matter for the tree. In fact, it is good because only when those leaves fall, the new ones will sprout and the tree looks beautiful again. Even when all the leaves have fallen, the trees look beautiful only. Same way it is. When the body drops also, we are in a good state. When the body is there also, we are in a good state. And this process of evolution keeps happening. So one should not have a regret of the body dropping. While living, one should keep doing what one's duty is. And when the body has to drop, it will drop. The journey will continue till one doesn't realize that Bhagwan will ensure that. Why should one worry? No, I have not realized the self in this life. What will happen in the next life? Leave it to Ishvara. Ishvara is a karma phala jata. Pray to Bhagwan saying, Bhagwan, please give me some janma where I can continue my sadhana and please make me realize the self quickly. That we can intensely pray so that our body identification goes. Rest of it makes no difference. No, Swamiji, I don't want to die young. Are Baba, die young. It is better. Why you want to become old and die? What all problems happen in old age? Terrific. Now, but I've become old already. Now I'm not wanting to die. Human being has problem in every stage of life. When we are young, then we don't. Sometimes people want to die, don't want to die young. Sometimes people who are old, they don't want to die because we are immortal. That is our true self. Immortality is our self, but we are seeking that in the mortal body. That is our problem. Elongate this, prolong it. Bundle of dirt and filth. How to From Vedantic standpoint, it is a tool for sadhana. Beyond that, it has no other value. So the jiva continues to keep getting bodies after bodies. Somewhere if one realizes ki bas now enough now, how many more bodies will I take? Then intensifies the seeking sadhana, and then one says, realize the self. Now it doesn't matter where it is dropped, what happens to the body after the body is dropped, no problem. Shraddha karma is done, not done, whether my children will do or not do, and is it even necessary to do? And some people tell their children, don't do karma after me. All that is finished, over, nothing. Why? Because while living only Jivan Neva Sadam. Prajnana Ghana Ityatma Lakshanam Satya Suchakam Anudya Upadhikasyaiva Kathayanti Vinashanam. Prajnana Ghana. The self is indicated as a mass of consciousness. Iti Atma Lakshanam. That is the nature of the self described by the scriptures. Atma Lakshanam Satya Suchakam. And they establish the reality of the self by this type of pointers. Prajnana Ghana. Anudya Aupadhikasya Eva. Anudya Aupadhikasya Eva Kathayanti Vinashanam. The destruction is only of the apparent conditioning. It is not of the self, because self is a mass embodiment of consciousness and bliss. And it is real. Satya Suchakam means that which is not changing in 3 periods of time. That is called Satya. That which is changeless in 3 periods of time, what is that? How is that going to be destructible? It is not going to be destructible. And is it of the nature of, will it become non-existent? No. It will remain same in 3 periods of time. It is of the nature of absolute bliss. Then who has got destroyed? The body has got destroyed. Body is only an upadhi, just an equipment. Anudya upadhikasya eva. So the destruction is of the body. The destruction is not of the self. And one who has realized the self discards the body very effortlessly. In whichever way one discards the body. Whether one ejects consciously, one doesn't eject consciously. Like Gurudev passed away in the operation theatre when his surgery was being done. Tapon Maharaj left the body at will. There is no hard and fast that a Jivan Mukta will go like this only. They have already dropped their body identification much before. So where is the question of them having any attachment towards that? Nothing. Indestructible self, unborn, undying. So Prajnana Ghana. The quotation is given is from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 4.5.13. That's the mantra. It begins with Prajnana Ghana. Avinashi va are. Avinashi va areyam atmeti shtutiratmanaha prabhravityavina shitvam vinashyatsu vikarishu. Another quote from Brihadaranyaka 4.5.14. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is very big. Brihat means big. Aranyaka means forest. Huge Upanishad. So from there the mantra is quoted here. Avinashiva are ayam atma. The Upanishad is saying that. Are, this atma is avinashi. Why are you worried? It is as though telling us, Avinashiva are ayam atma. And what is the meaning of atma? I. Meaning you are indestructible. It's not some Atma is indestructible. Upanishad is saying, Are, you are indestructible Atma. Avinashiva, Are, I am Atma. Iti Shruti Atmanaha. This scriptural passage is declaring that Prabraviti Avinashitvam. And it speaks of the immortal Vinashyatsu Vikarishu, in the midst of all that which is changing, Vikarishu and Vinashyatsu, which is perishable. This is a line, similar line in the Gita also. Vinashyatsu avinashyantam. Yah pashyati sapashyati. In that which is continuously changing and perishing, there is one imperishable truth. Whoever sees, sees. Same truth, same thing is said here in the second line. When we look around through the body, everything is perishable only, including the body. All the things in the world are perishable. Body also is perishable. Where is the imperishable? Upanishad is saying, Are, the witness in you who is witnessing all the changes, that is imperishable. Atmava Are Avinashi. So as long as I look outside, I can only see change. Vikara and Vinasha. Vikara and Vinasha are together. They go together. Any change is destruction. So we only see change, we only see destruction. What Vedanta is saying, no. Atma is your nature. Why are you getting stuck with what is perishable? Because the association with the perishable, knowing that it is perishable, by itself is not an issue. When I know that I am the imperishable truth, everything else is perishable, I can associate with the perishable, no problem. Jivan Mukta also transacts in the world, no issue. Issue comes when in the perishable, I am seeking the imperishable. What is continuously changing outside as well as in this BMI, in that I don't want it to change and I want changeless happiness in that. Now that will bring only sorrow, because I get attached to a certain condition, but that condition won't remain because it is changing, perishable. Everyone can say that, change alone is the constant, change is the changeless law in the world. If I have understood that, there should not be any sorrow at all. If it is only an intellectual statement, then I can make a bombastic statement, oh, change alone is a changeless law in the world. Wonderful. So are you detached because of that knowledge? That I am not. Then that sorrow only will come. Why? Because I'm attached to certain things, certain way it has to be, certain people, certain way they have to be. The moment they change, now I'm disturbed. So amidst all that which is changing, there is one unchanging, imperishable, absolute truth. The scriptures point out that is the essence, that is the crux. Shift the focus from the changing to the changeless, and you are free. The Jivan Mukta has realized that. And hence, the death of the body makes no difference to the Jivan Mukta, because one is already abiding in the changeless truth. If one is not abiding in the changeless truth, then all attachments are there based on the body. Food, clothing, people, achievements, name, power, position. One is attached to so many things. And to drop all that, one doesn't want to drop. One doesn't want to drop this body also. No, Samjay, I am tired of this body. No, this body has become terrible. It's giving me a lot of pain and problems. I want to get rid of the body. What was said earlier? No? Dehasya moksho na moksha. That pessimistic thought process is not required. Even if there is some pain in the body, I can understand it is not easy to deal with it. But some karma is getting exhausted. So one has to have titiksha and keep praying to the Lord. Bhagavan, help me to intensify my seeking, make me realize the self. That which is imperishable, amidst that everything which is perishable, I should know that. If I don't know it, that's all. I will keep going round in this cycle of perishable things. That's why it says Atma va are drashtavyaha, shrotavyaha, mantavyaha, nidhyasitavyaha. Having come into this changing world, what should I do? Realize the Atma. Nothing more needs to be done. If I did not realize the Atma, nothing else makes a difference. It is useless from that standpoint. It is a process of evolution, there is no doubt in that. But from higher standpoint, one is delaying. Now, if somebody says there is no delay, each one evolves at their own time, so no problem, evolve. Delay, we are saying only from the standpoint that one's nature is Atma, but one is suffering. So, if you want to reduce the suffering, then proceed fast. If you want to continue it, to continue with each one's choice. So, Avinashiva Are, I am Atma. Having come into this human form, this is what I have to realize. This needs the top priority. Bucket list, when we make, this should be the first thing on the bucket list. Realize the self. Everything else comes after that. But in our situation, the bucket list, other things are first. I have to go to Switzerland, I have to go here, I have to achieve that, I must have a house like this, I must enjoy this flight of a pleasure. All that will be there in the bucket list. You know, if you go on the internet, there are lots of these things. 30 places you should visit before you turn 30. Like that, there are lots of these things which are there. Interesting they are. Nowhere in that it will be there that realize the self. Scripture say, Array, first do that. The rest of it will happen after that. Anyway, so that's what the Upanishad is telling us. Pashana vriksha trina dhanyaka. Pashana vriksha trina dhanya kadankaradhyaha dagdha bhavanti hi mrideva yatha tathaiva dehendriya sumanadi samasta drishyam jnanagni dagdham upayati paratma bhavam. Pashana is stone, vriksha is tree, trina is grass, dhanya is grain, kadankaradhyaha, husk, etc. Dagdha bhavantihi mrideva. When they all are different things. But when they all are burnt, what they become? Ash, mud. Dagdha bhavanti mrideva, yatha. Tathaiva, in the same way, deha, body, indriya, senses, asu means prana, mana, mind, etc. means intellect, vasanas, ignorance, all this. So adi, samasta drishyam, all that which is seen, jnanagni dagdham upayati paratma bhavam. They all are reduced to the supreme self in the fire of knowledge. They are reduced to supreme self means? See, in the example, those other things which are there, they are burnt by fire, they will become ash. They become, all their differences they lose. So pashana is very hard, stone. Vriksha, so stone is inert thing, but vriksha is a sentient thing which is growing. Trina is grass. So there is difference in their qualities, properties, utility, everything. But when they are burned, they will all become ash. So there they reduce to ashes. But here, in the fire of knowledge, These are burnt means what? The identification that I am this, I am the body, I am the prana, I am the mind, I am the intellect. That identification, when it is gone, it is not that they burn to ashes. What is the meaning here? One realizes that there is only self, which is appearing as all this. Just like the mud or the ash, that ash becomes one with the earth, and that earth only appears as the tree and the stone and then the grass. If you reduce it, the source of it is earth. The source of all this is what? Brahman. That Brahman alone is appearing as all this. And hence, for the Jivan Mukta, the body is not anymore a problem. Because the Jivan Mukta says this is also appearance of self. No, but earlier it was said is a bundle of mass and flesh. That is for us. Because we think we are this, the body. So it is said from Jivan Mukta standpoint, it doesn't make a difference where it is dropped. But it makes a difference to us. To remove our false identification, that analogy is given there. It's a fact. It's a collection of dirt and filth and bundle and of all this. But what is the attitude of a Jivan Mukta? The Jivan Mukta sees self alone everywhere. That's the highest standpoint. So there are levels. So that's what is said here, that prana, etc., are reduced to the supreme self when burnt in the fire of knowledge. Reduced to supreme self is not actually burnt. False identification gone. Once the false identification is gone, when the body is dropped, it will be actually burnt. The body will become ash, but that ash also is self only. From the Mahatma standpoint, the body is burnt. There is nothing, no residue left. Subtle body is not there, causal body is not there. So that jiva doesn't travel anywhere. There is no gati. None of that is happening for a jivan mukta. The body just goes back to 5 elements. Mind goes back to 5 elements. Pranas go back to 5 pranas. Over. There is nothing. So that is what this is. So what Gurudev has said here is, as long as it exists, a stone is a stone, a tree is a tree, a leaf is a leaf. But when they are burnt, they all become nothing but ashes. The tongue of fire scorches the name and the shape, the quality of whatever it licks. What is left is only ashes. So that was the example there. But for the body, for the Jivan Mukta, what it says, similarly, the whole world of objects, the body, sense organs, mind, etc., which are seen, felt, and thought of, when inquired into, are found to be nothing but the self. They are found to be nothing but the self. If the entire world of perception, the kshetra, is burnt in the fire of understanding and awakening, fire of understanding, that is Jnanagni, what remains is a self alone. When the identification with the BMI is burnt down, the OET are no more felt. When all this world consisting of names and forms is burnt in the fire of realization, self alone remains. So the Jivan Mukta's attitude is presented to us at 3 levels actually. Highest level is there is no world at all. One level below is world is there, but it is appearance of the self. Still one level below is it is a bundle of dirt and filth, this body. Why are we so attached to this? Where it drops, it doesn't matter. So these are 3 levels. So don't get confused suddenly saying, "Arey, they are saying self at one time, they are saying body is a bundle of dirt and filth." It's all contradictory. No. Different levels, that's all. What is important is through this, what are we trying to apply in our life? That is important. So we will stop here today. Any questions? Yes, Neetaji, you can ask.
What is the 3rd level you said?
The bundle of skin,
Filth.
bones, flesh.
Okay.
That.
Okay.
Neetaji, you can ask.
Yeah, Swamiji, after this, what text are you going to take so that we can order and we want to be under you and learn more? so that
Not
we
yet.
can order for the book and be ready.
Yeah, not yet decided, and we will have a break for some time. Then I will tell you.
Oh, okay.
I will announce in some time. So you'll have enough time to buy the book and all, but I will tell you in some time. So tomorrow, yes, we will have a class. So tomorrow, and then I think we will also have on Monday. So then in 2 classes, I think the book should be over. If required, then I will do one more class. So in 3 classes, it should be done at maximum. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.